Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Winning at Blackjack series. Last time we completed our simulations, and now in today's episode we want to analyse the results of our simulations by getting statistics and making graphs based on these stats so we can get a real understanding of how the long run of blackjack works and how it can sometimes come across that you're winning. So from this episode we're going to make a graph that'll be our money over time. A bar chart that gives the percentages of times we win versus when we lose, and finally give a statement on how much we can expect to lose per number of hands. In order to create graphs, we first have to do from matplotlib import pyplot as plt. Matplotlib is a popular graphing plotting library for Python that we will need. Now, when we plot a graph, we need to have two lists. One list will be the x-axis and one list will be the y-axis. So the y-axis will be the dependent variable, which will be the amount of money, and x-axis is independent, which is the time. So first to create the list that will hold the y-axis points, the money. This will be called money graph. For now, we will set it to a list with the first value of the list being the original money. Now to jump straight to adding this in, we need to go into the new hand function, make money graph a global variable, and then at the end of the turn just append the money that you are now at after the turn. This will give us, at this point with our number of repetitions, 10,000 points of where the money is after every hand. Now we just need to create our x-axis list. This will just be a range from 0 to however many entries there is in our money graph. The easiest way to make this list, not using other Python libraries, is using an integrated for loop like last time in the splitting video. X values equals square brackets, I for I in range, len of money graph. Now every time the for loop goes around, it adds 1. So the list would look like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Next, to plot the graph. So using matplotlib's plot function, plt.plots, will then give us two lists, x values, comma, money graph. Then use plt.show to get this plot up. So let's run it. Here we see a rather sad graph that shows how your money fluctuates up and down as we go through the hands, but there is an overall negative correlation. You can also see the points at which you appear to be winning money, but in the end it always goes down. Now this graph isn't too aesthetically pleasing, so to add some axis labels we use plt.ylabel and xlabel. To start the Y label we will call money dollar, and the X label we will use hands played. Now looking at the graph, it looks much better. So this is a great representation of blackjack and the use of our blackjack simulator. Another thing we can look at is how many times we win a hand compared to losing. Let's begin by getting two variables, wins and loss. These variables will work as a tally, so set to 0 for the start. Let's make these variables global, like the money graph variable. Now what we can do is go into every instance of a win or a loss in the new hand function and add to the tallies. So these times will be player blackjack, wins +1, dealer blackjack, loss +1. Then just the normal outcomes of resolving. So under money plus equals bet, we put wins +1, and then loss +1 under where we take the bet off. So let's display this with a bar chart. In this case, we're pretending like the times where no one wins any money just don't exist. So it will just be a ratio between wins and losses. So let's use percentage to display it. Otherwise, the numbers will be really big. So let's get the wins percentage with wins plus losses. Then, to make it a percentage, we will times it by 10,000, then set it to an integer, then divide by 100. So this will give a percentage with 2 decimal places. Next, using matplotlib, we can make a bar graph by using plt.bar. Then in brackets, we begin by giving the names of each bar. So brackets for the names, then in here we give wins, new line, and then our percentage, end those brackets and do the same with a loss percentage. After this, we end both brackets and then place our values in the other brackets, so wins and loss. Perfect. And now to label our graph properly, we will label the y-axis frequency and then show the graph. So let's run it and have a look. As you can see, our bar chart does ignore the times where we draw, but we do get the good ratio as we said. So from my runs, it looks like we win 47.5% of the time and lose 52.5%, which is no good. But when we get into card counting, the basic premise is finding out where we are more likely to win the round and then taking advantage of that by betting a lot more than normal. The last thing we want to do is the simplest, so stick with me. We're going to find the expected money lost per game. To do this is one variable as follows. Expected equals, then to make it a percentage we times by 100. Now we get the decimal for money lost per game. So money, take away the amount of money we start with, 100,000. Then divide it by bet size, so we get it in terms of our bet amount. And rep to get it per round we played, not repetitions, since if we busted, then repetitions will give the wrong value. Perfect. That is all. Now just some logic to see if we won or lost money. If expected is less than 0, if so, then we print that from this run you will lose, then your expectation times -1, % of your bet every hand, and then else you will win, and there is no need to times the expected by -1 this time. So perfect, that is all. Now I'm going to increase our repetitions to 1 million, and after I run it, we get our money graph. We seem to lose 20 grand. We can see how our money changes as the rounds go on. The bar chart to see our ratio of wins to loss, it says 47.35% wins. And finally, the expectation, which seems to be losing 0.42% of the bet from this run. So not very fun. The maths really doesn't make blackjack sound very fun, does it? Now let's switch the favour to us. We've had enough of the casino winning. This is where next video comes in. We will be finally getting round to card counting. We will be adding a count and a true count to our simulator. And now really experimenting by changing our bet size based on that true count. Next video, you're going to see a lot of the change and the reason why card counters do it for a career. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video for the engagement and subscribe to the channel to see even more. And I hope to see you in the next video.